So it's been about a year since I've done one of these. The last one I did in August, I just made a post for my Patreon subscribers, which, hey, by the way, I have a Patreon. You should go throw money at it. You're going to be hearing that a lot in this video. But I figure I should get around to doing an actual proper video update for the channel at large because it's been a heck of a long year, a lot has changed here at First 5, and this is about the only moment where I lower my boundaries a bit and show a slightly more personal side of me. I was planning on having this out for the channel's anniversary when I traditionally do these, at least if 3 years is long enough to count as tradition, and we've blown way past that, but all the same, happy belated anniversary, First 5. And there's a lot to be happy about. Last year I was celebrating 5,000 subscribers, but just a few days ago we finally hit the next big milestone. And we're in the middle of a pretty solid run of fantastic games, which I think has shown through in my work. It's also been a little over a year since I started up my Patreon, and it's doing far better than I could reasonably expect a Patreon for a channel my size to do. Which, hey, by the way, I have a Patreon. You should go throw money at it. But unfortunately, as great as the channel itself has been going, this has also been a particularly devastating year for me personally. I know 2020 was unmitigated awfulness for just about everyone involved, but my particular sob story stems from the fact that way back in last April, I got laid off from my day job because of COVID cost cutting. And if it were on my terms, I would still probably be working that job for the steady paycheck, because right now I'm living on savings and my Patreon income of $250 a month. Which, hey, by the way, I have a Patreon. You should go throw money at it. But even beyond all of the general awfulness of the pandemic and being out of a day job, all of this has been compounded by evolving health issues in my family that I don't really want to get into, but the short of it is that I spend a lot of this newfound free time working as a caretaker, which means that suddenly I've had to basically start living my life like a single parent. So I might as well still be working 2 jobs for all the time I have. So, yeah, this year's been a real nasty triple punch to the gut for me. And that puts First 5 as a channel in a bit of a rocky position. I've spent this past year trying my hardest to let the work speak for itself, appeal to people's wallets through the quality and value of what I do, and find interesting and valuable perks to lure people to sign up to the Patreon with. And I've done my best to be as upbeat and professional as I possibly can and held all this back because in an ideal world, none of you should have to worry or care about any of this. But at the rate that I'm growing, I'm going to run out of money long before I break even, and so I've finally gotten to the point where I have to say, one last time, without any pitch or fancy bullet point list, without a marketing strategy, and with complete and utter frankness, hey, by the way, I have a Patreon. You should go throw money at it. I am very tired, and after a very long and difficult year, I could genuinely use the help. I know that life is incredibly difficult right now for just about everyone, and I genuinely do not enjoy having to have this conversation, but if you do have a coin to spare, you can do that little bit to make it easier and make First 5 a financial success. I don't think the issue comes down to a lack of generosity. In fact, I've been shown much more generosity and support than some channels already orders of magnitude bigger than my own receive. But the reality of the situation is that sooner or later, I have to break even. And if that doesn't happen, I have no idea where that'll leave First 5. There's only so much work a single person can do, and if push comes to shove, it will be extremely difficult to find any time to work on this channel. And that's a terrible shame to think about, because First 5 has always felt like a channel that speaks to people, that found an audience that is actually serving a real purpose by helping connect busy people with short games they can actually enjoy. Or, you know, just helping you discover cool indies you've never heard of before. I've gotten that one a lot too. But whichever way it is, this channel has resonated with people in a way that I generally do not see channels of its size do. The audience I do have has always felt incredibly invested, and that is shown with your generosity through Patreon. And folks, I don't know how to properly balance the gratitude for how well things truly have been going with the reality that as great as it's been and as much generosity as I've been shown, I still need to ask for more. I've rewritten this video like 5 times over the past 4 months trying to find a way to thread that needle, and I think you just can't. The truth of the matter is that thanks to the situation with COVID, I got thrown into this position way before the channel was ready for it, and while I'm doing the best I can with the hand I'm dealt here, we're starting to reach a point where something is going to have to budge. And you deserve to know about it while I still have another year of runway and there's still enough time to do something about it. So, yeah, if you think the work I'm doing is important or enjoyable, First 5 is in a pinch and could use your help. And the best way you can offer some is by donating on Patreon. Working on YouTube, especially the kind of work I and many other game critics do on this website that doesn't put out daily content, requires the support of fans to survive. And I'd like to still be here this time next year. But what's this Patreon you keep talking about, some of you might ask, and the short version is that it's a website that you can sign up to and leave a monthly tip for me on. It's like subscribing to Netflix, but instead of paying money and then getting content, you do it in reverse order. Hell of a money-making strategy, I know, but it pays way the hell better than YouTube does. There are also some perks to signing up to my particular Patreon. If you contribute $5, you'll get access to a Discord server filled with me and your fellow patrons, access to like 4 or 5 video essays I managed to finish a year, and the quarterly wrap-ups a day early. And monthly reading lists featuring additional reading about the games I cover, as well as a bunch of other great games criticism from around the internet. So if you want to contribute, the best way to do so is by following either the link here, at the end of the video, down in the description, or in the top right corner of my channel's front page, and pitching in $5 a month, though you can also put in a custom amount if you want to donate more or less. Again, I hate the fact that I'm out here point blank asking for alms, but this past year has been absolutely hammering me. And as great as things have been going, First 5 as it is just can't fill my belly. And in the meantime, I have plenty I want to work on my end as well. I feel like a lot of my work has improved and grown more polished over the course of this year, but it also became a lot more involved. More complicated editing, longer scripts, and more nuanced arguments. If you've followed YouTubers for a while, you've probably heard how this spiral of perfectionism goes before. And that's the main thing I'd like to work on in the year to come, getting more consistent again. I've already been working on it. February and March has been a lot better for regular releases, but there's still a ways to go. I'm also looking at starting up streaming earlier than I'd originally intended, and I have a lot of fun ideas on where to take that and give it some fun cross-pollination with a YouTube channel, though there's a lot to still figure out with that. And I have plenty of new video ideas coming on the horizon. Right now I'm working on a video about open worlds and Hitman, I've got a few other ideas in the pipeline after that, and of course, there's always gonna be reviews. Again, I don't want to end on too much of a downer note and just want to reiterate that First 5 isn't ending tomorrow. I'm still gonna be trying to make this work, but I can't do it alone. This has been a spectacular year for the channel, but reality at large isn't always as kind or patient as we need it to be. This is the hand I'm dealt, we're gonna try to make what we can with it, and if you're willing to help too, that'd make First 5's chances all the better. Thanks for watching this far, I'll see you all next week, and hey, by the way, I have a